Hello, everyone, and welcome to AI in Sales Closing Deals Faster. This training is the sixth in our series for AI trainings, which are being facilitated by expert Maribel Sanabria. If you guys are not following her already, you definitely need to be doing so. And if you're not a part of the Six Secrets group on Facebook, then you need to be in there as well. So I will give you a disclaimer to let you know that right now these trainings are free. But they will not continue to be like that as time progresses. Maribel is definitely elevating in what she's doing, and it is a good time right now to get to know her while you still have the opportunity. I will say it like that. So she is going to be doing some amazing things with not just business to consumer, but also with business to business with larger corporate clients. And there's so much that she brings to the table that I cannot continue to ask her to bring this type of expertise to the table without some sort of investment made into it. I will say that. I will not say cost. I will gladly say investment. And that's the word I would always use to describe how how my relationship with Maribel is. So without further ado, I'm going to let her take it away and hopefully chime in on some few things throughout this one, because it's just too good for me to sit quiet. And when she sent me this presentation, I was like, oh my God. So y'all are going to be saying the same thing, I'm sure, while we're watching. I will have my phone up active. So if you guys have comments while we're live on Facebook, and I'm going to be sharing it on all sorts of platforms that I'm on. So if you have questions, comments, suggestions, please drop them and actively, and we will get to addressing those. But we love to see you active. So all the likes, all the hearts, all the shares, all the comments. And Maribel, the floor is yours, my dear.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. I am super excited about bringing you guys this particular training, because this one is really going to help you move the needle forward in your business and put some money in your pocket, which is what we want, right?
Yes.
I thoroughly enjoyed this series, putting this together for you guys. Like I said, I've invested thousands of dollars in my own training to bring you this information, right? So that you don't have to invest that money in yourself, but you get the benefit of learning from someone who has and who's mastered this, right? So I encourage you guys to take notes. I encourage you guys to, I don't mind if you screenshot things and, follow up with me later. I'm perfectly okay with that. But try to be in a place where you're like not distracted, where you don't have anything in front of you. Put your phone away and just dig into what I've got for you. Okay. We're going to dive into the sales process, right? And how AI is going to help you focus on the right leads, use data to drive your decisions, and navigate sales conversions more effectively. And we're going to talk about whether you're new to AI or you're just starting to explore how it fits into your sales toolkit. So, I'll hit kind of both angles. That way, no matter where you're at in your business journey, you can start using some of these tools and tips and strategies to help move you forward. Okay, so what you're going to walk away with today is learning how to use AI for lead scoring, so you're not wasting time on dead-end prospects. Then we're going to dig into predictive analytics and how that helps you, know what your buyer is likely to do next. And then we're also going to go over how to optimize your sales pitch and use AI tools and data. Then cover a bit about how to overcome some objections using AI insights that help you close more deals faster. So I hope you guys are ready. Okay. Why do we use AI in sales? All right. These are just some metrics, some stats. If you use AI in sales, you get a 50% lead increase. Okay. Any team that uses AI generates significantly more qualified opportunities. Okay. You got to think about it like this. You are one person, okay? So let's say you're a solopreneur. Maybe you have a team of maybe 3, people that are helping you out. Think about how you can multiply that exponentially, okay? Imagine having a sales team of hundreds of individuals that can take the time to dig into the data, to qualify those opportunities that are coming your way, and to provide you with not warm leads, but hot leads, okay? That's what AI can do for you, all right? It is a time saver, especially when you are someone who doesn't have a whole lot of time to begin with, because you're dealing with so many different components of being a business owner. All right. So there's the next stat, right? 40% time saved. Automation eliminates those repetitive tasks, right?
Awesome.
You don't want to have to sit there with a list of individuals that are possibly going to buy from you, AKA cold leads, and have to call them, right? And pitch them, right? Get rejected, and then do it all over again. Okay. That is such a time waster. You
Yes.
don't want to have to do that. So by using AI to help you qualify those leads ahead of time, right? The people that you are calling are your hot leads, okay, that are literally looking for your services or looking for your products. That's the kind of benefit, right, that AI brings to you. Okay. Also with AI in sales, you get a 30% higher close rate. Okay. So better targeting means more conversions, right? I talked to you guys in the past about how if you can have a conversation with somebody, right, you can convert them. Okay. But most people, especially if they're a cold lead, they don't want to talk to you, right? They don't like the sales pitch. They don't like someone taking up their time. And I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm one of them. I can't stand when companies randomly just call me out of nowhere and try to pitch me.
It's a pet peeve.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah. Like, you don't know me.
Right? Like, wait a minute. I just requested some information from you so that I could read up on what you got going on to see maybe if I need you in the future. Right. I don't need you calling me out of nowhere. Right. So, and that's something else too for you to consider. Like when you are starting to provide your services and your products and you're putting information out there, you're creating those landing pages, those lead magnets and things like that. Please don't ask for their phone number. Like that to me, for me personally, that's like a red flag. Because I know if they're going to ask for my phone number, I'm going to immediately get some kind of sales call.
It screams desperation, right?
Oh my goodness, it screams that, Cynthia. Yeah. And no, you don't want to come across as someone who's desperate. Right. That right there is a turnoff. Because if someone calls me out of nowhere, I'm like, nope, thank you, goodbye. Yeah. So don't do that. Okay, that's just a little tip. Keep that field out of your forms and things like that. Don't ask for their number. You don't need that. You really don't need that because that's going to turn off more clients than anything. Okay. Any sort of traditional sales methods, like nowadays, they're out the window. No one uses those anymore. Okay, they can't keep pace with the landscape of today, right? We live in a digital world. And so if you are trying to drum up, clients from, I don't know, an antiquated list that you have or a list that you buy from somebody, then no, it's just not going to work, right? When you have all these leads that are coming in, quote unquote, and I say quote unquote leads, right? Because you don't know if they're cold, if they're warm, or if they're hot, right? It creates a lot of confusion for you. And it can also be very disheartening because you're trying to get your products out there, you're trying to get your services out there. And, the more no's you have, it's just psychology, right? You feel defeated. And you feel like you really maybe are not in the right business, right? So we don't want to put those things in our mind, right? We don't want to have these situations come to be. So we can use AI to remove the guesswork from this process, okay? It helps you do the heavy lifting, all right? Remember that. AI is your support system, okay? When it comes to understanding buyer behavior, right? Scoring those leads accurately and helping you personalize your approach, right? You have to personalize it. It cannot be some generic thing that you call everybody with and you say the same thing and, you don't get to know who the client is. It's just, that's not a way to gain a client. It's just not. Right. If you want to gain clients, you've got to build that relationship, okay? Yep. And the way to do that is through personalization. And if you haven't caught, like one of the previous episodes that we did is about personalizing your approach through AI. Yes. So go ahead and watch that, okay? Go on Cynthia's YouTube or my YouTube, doesn't matter which one you go check out, but that episode is there and it's incredibly helpful to let you know how you can go ahead and use AI to personalize things, right? Yep. So that's something to take into consideration, all right? And just remember, as you continue to grow, you're going to need more hands. You're going to need more support, right? And if you don't have the money to hire, use AI. It's right. It's a no-brainer. It really, truly is a no-brainer, okay? Because companies that use AI in their sales processes, they see up to 50% more lead, 40 to 60% reduction in costs, and that is a lot when it comes to a small business.
That's a lot of money.
It's a whole lot of money.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of money.
I mean, you're talking thousands upon thousands of dollars,
Right.
All right. So let's talk through the AI sales funnel. All right. So you start off with the target. Okay. That's where we use smart lead scoring. Okay. Then we move up to predictive analytics. Okay. And you use that for follow-up. Then you're going to engage that lead, okay, through your optimized sales pitches. And then you're going to close them, okay, using those AI-powered objection handling tools. So if you learn how to integrate AI in every stage of this process, each layer is going to build on the previous one. And then the results are going to be closing deals quicker with less effort, okay? So learning to target the right client is the foundation. Okay, this really gets into figuring out who your ideal client is to start. So if you haven't done that yet, I suggest that you get into that. I know Cynthia has some tools that'll help you kind of figure out who your ideal client is, and create those personas that you can actually use as role models for how you want to target things and how you want
Exactly.
to approach everything. So you got to figure that out first. Okay, once you know who your target audience is, then you can score them correctly. Like smart lead scoring, all that really is basically putting them in a bucket of, these are my hot leads, right? These are my warm leads, and these are my cold leads. Okay, that's really all that is, like in a nutshell. Okay, you really want to focus on the warm to hot. You want to leave the colds alone. Okay, so your cold leads will be really great to target with like email campaigns, so that you can start nurturing them. Okay, your warm leads, all right, you definitely want to target with email campaigns as well, but they're going to be a little bit more specific. They're going to be a little bit more sales driven because they already know you. They're very familiar with your product or service, and they're kind of on the fence of, do I buy from you or do I not? Okay, and then your hot leads, those are your calls. You're going to call them, okay? And you're going to encourage them to contact you through communications, okay? Then, with predictive analytics, this is basically using tools to help you figure out, is this client likely to convert or are they not, right? Also using that in terms of, will they call me back? Like, will they purchase in the future? Will they contact me in the future, right? How can I follow up with them, or how should I follow up with them? Like, what's the best mode to do that in, right? And there's a whole bunch of other things that go with that, and we're going to get into that shortly. And then, the engage mode is that sales pitch. Your sales pitch needs to be top notch.
Yep.
Okay. So that is something, I'm going to get into that too a little bit later on, in terms of creating your sales pitch. But this is something that you need to be able to think about, what kind of client objections am I going to have to purchasing my services or products? Okay. How can you basically squash those objections? Okay. Or overcome them with what you're going to say. How are you going to make their life better? Easier, right, with your product or service, and why they should choose you over anybody else. Okay. It is a conversation.
Right.
Okay? Do not get pitchy.
Yeah. Don't go into a close with a sales pitch.
No,
No.
do not.
Because you'll center on self, and it is not about you at this point. Well, really, at any point within this sales funnel process, it is not about you as the seller. It is totally about them. Don't get to that close and do a sales pitch like she's telling you. You better not. And if we find out you're doing it, we come in after you.
That's right. That's right. Because you're killing your sale right there.
Killing the sale.
You're gonna kill it, right? And I don't mean in a good way.
Not in a good way. Dead on arrival. DOA. I'm talking about DOD. Dead on arrival. Seriously.
That. And you don't want that. Okay. You just don't. So don't go pitchy on people, right? It's one of those things where, again, conversation is key. Okay. Yep. Get to know your potential client, right? Talk to them. And this is an art, okay? This is an art. A sales pitch is an art, because you have to really get into their psychology,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is where knowing who they are, right? Knowing the demographic and the psychographic of the potential client is going to help you so much. And that AI can help you with that too. Okay. It can help you research those things, and it can help pull up potential scenarios of, let's say, for example, this person is a single parent, right? And they have an income between $40,000 and $50,000. Okay. They have a child with special needs. They have no support elsewhere. They work a 9 to 5, plus a little side gig. Okay. And they are looking for something that is going to help soothe their child while they are in school, because they get very anxious when they're away from their parent. Okay. Let's say that you are the provider of said product, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your job is to communicate to that potential client how much that product is going to help their child.
100%.
It has nothing to do with, selling them on anything. Because if you can show them or paint the picture of this product is the absolute best solution for your child because of XYZ, then that is what's going to convert them. Because at the end, they're going to be like, well, this sounds amazing. I really want my kid to have this because we've been struggling with this for so long. And we haven't been able to find a solution, and I'm willing to try it. Right. So that's where that relationship build comes into play. And, and not for nothing, what I think is really cool about that, when you build those relationships, then you really get to know what the clients need in the future, and you can start gearing or focusing your future products and services toward that.
Look,
Right.
I like to call it personalized selling.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really is you in learning how to interpret someone's emotional cues and tailor your response to help better connect with them and address a specific concern that they have. And if you're going to be in sales, you have to learn how to analyze behavior. If you're an entrepreneur and you're selling any product, you are a salesperson. Let me just tell you, you're in sales, whether you think you're in sales or not. And what Maribel is teaching, like I paid someone close to $6,000 to teach me the design of this sales funnel and how it works. But the fact that you don't have to personally go into the predicting, engaging, and closing, that's where all of the magic happens. And that's what's most time consuming. So if you just do like she said and build a foundational target audience, you can add on to that with what you created and what you already know about the people. And then when it comes to the close and you've got to have those human touch points, then you can actually make it that personal. So you aren't getting that pitchy and you actually know the person at that point. But AI will do the rest of that work for you in between that. So you can sell to like multiple people at the same time using the formula that she's giving you. So don't sleep on what she's giving you. This is way too important for you to sleep on or forget. I hope you're taking notes, and make sure that you do record that this is going to be on her YouTube channel, and mine that you can go back and get the notes from, because Facebook is going to erase this. It doesn't keep the videos anymore.
Yep, that's right. That's right. So yeah. So thank you for that, Cynthia, because it's true, right? Like we can use AI for certain parts of this, but we can never forget the humanizing factor. We are humans, right? We connect to people. We don't connect to machines. So we want to use AI to take care of the humdrum stuff, the things that are just like taking our time and sucking our time away. And then we want to be able to focus on that more personal touch. That's really where the impact is going to be made for you and your business. Okay. Because once you get done with your conversation with said individual, the work should be complete, right? Like that conversation should already convert them to where the next part is, how do you want to, would you like to try this out today? Like, are you willing to give it a shot, right? And it's an easy close. It's not something where you have to spend hours convincing them of your product or your service and how important it is and how much it's going to impact their life. No, that's where the engage comes into play, because that's where you should be focusing a lot of your time on. Okay. All right. So next we're going to talk about some smarter lead scoring with AI. So this is where you're looking at the individual person, right? And you're deciding where they're going to be. Okay. Are they your priority leads, or are they people who are your cold leads that you can kind of nurture through email sequences in the background? Okay. Usually, and this is like before AI, I should say, when you're dealing with leads, you would go off your gut, your instinct, right? Whether or not someone sounded like that they were eager and they wanted to be, a part of your purchase cycle. But now AI can analyze hundreds of data points in real time, right? And it can tell you which leads are most likely to convert based on behavior, engagement, historical patterns, right? And this lets you and your team focus on the high potential leads instead of wasting time on the wrong ones. Okay, there are lots of tools out there. Okay, things like Salesforce, Einstein, Zoho, Zia, they do these things automatically right inside of your CRM. There's others out there. So I am not endorsing like anyone in particular. I'm just giving you some examples for you guys to go ahead and look at. And down the road in this presentation, I actually have a tech stack for you. So make sure to take a screenshot of that before the presentation ends. And then you can kind of check out some of those that are there to help you. Yep. So that you can, figure out which ones work for you. Because like I told you before, not every tool works for everybody, right? And you have to find the ones that work best for you, for your customer base, for your clients, for your employees, and anybody else that's in your business sphere, okay? So you want to think about when you're looking at your lead scoring, collecting that data, okay? Again, psychographics, demographics.
Right.
You need those two things, okay? AI can handle that with its eyes closed. All right, because it pulls this data from multiple sources. And what is really neat now, almost every single model has deep research. Okay, and for those of you who are not too familiar with any of the tools, the major tools that are out there, basically what that is it goes on a deep search of the internet and it pulls like pages upon pages upon pages of information, okay? So instead of it being very surface level, it actually, all of them, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Grok, and all the others, they all have this capability of doing a deep dive into the internet for this information, okay? So it's like expanded its reach even more, which I personally love. I think it's amazing. And you should definitely take advantage of it. So once it pulls all that information, right, then it can analyze patterns. So it identifies what are called conversion indicators, right? Because there's certain points that you will look at, those demographics and those psychographics, that are going to lead you to knowing this particular person is likely to convert. Okay, so again, let's go back to the example that I gave you about the child with, special needs. If I pulled up that client and I see that they're a single parent, okay, number one, I already know that they're short on time, right? They have no time in their life for all the extra stuff, right? And they need shortcuts in their life to help them manage, especially if they have a child with special needs, because that child takes a lot of their time, okay? A lot of their free time. So short on time, boom, that's a check mark for me, all right? Next thing, if I am someone who deals in providing a product that supports children with special needs, right? That's obviously another check mark, okay? They have a special needs kid. Okay, so then you start thinking about, all right, what else could affect this potential client in terms of whether or not they will buy my product, okay? It's the price point. So then you start thinking, okay, they have an income between $40,000 and $50,000. Can they afford my product? So then you would think, okay, if they live in this particular area, right, of the United States or wherever, okay, they're more than likely paying X amount for rent, X amount for electricity, utilities, whatever, right? X amount for a car or gas, or, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a lot of data points. Like, I could go in like a lot, and you don't want to have to do that manually, okay? So AI can help you with that. So it'll pull all those data points for you, all right? And then it can prioritize those leads. So based on those data points that it pulls for all the potential clients, it can aggregate them, right? And say, okay, here are your top ones, here are your middle ones, and here are the, we'll nurture them with some emails, right? Because even though they're cold leads, you can't really like throw them away, because they could one day become warm leads and one day become hot leads, right? You got to remember 9 points of exposure people need to be able to convert.
That's right.
Okay. So if you don't hit that, then they're going to remain cold. But if you're nurturing them with emails, if you're pushing out social media campaigns, if you're following up with maybe a text message or two, right? So on and so forth. Like, if you're doing all these things, then eventually you'll stay top of mind and they will check you out. Okay. And then once all that is done, like the smart scoring is finished, right? again, that helps you convert faster because now you really know who to focus on. Okay. And that's where your time should be spent, on those hot leads, people that you know are going to bring money to your pocket. Sounds cold, but we are in business. So that is what we do.
Thank you. That's a breakdown. That's the breakdown of it. I love how I use Read AI for one of my platforms. So as a business coach, I do a lot of consultations, right? And one thing that Read AI does for me is it actually assesses my customer sentiment and my tone and the customer's tone, or at least the potential customer's tone. And it analyzes the voice inflections and even my word choices throughout the conversation. So I can literally take the summary that I get from Read AI, plug it into ChatGPT, and ask ChatGPT, how can I frame my questions better to deal with these objections or potential objections that may come from individuals? You know, how can I reduce the time spent on consulting calls to get to a selling point faster? So there's so much opportunity here, but I think it's like Maribel was saying, even before you can get that far, you've got to have your touch points. So you cannot neglect lead nurturing. And I know that that can get kind of cumbersome, but if you create AI patterns to help you do it instead of trying to manually touch point everybody and use the emails and the text messages and even the content scheduling like she's talking about, then you'll have those touch points and you will be able to stay top of mind. So don't get overwhelmed with what she's saying, but learn how to take the information she's giving you and make it an action item and mobilize that thing and actually make it a part of your business. So it's not just education today. Like, this is practicality that you guys, we really want you to take it back, include it into what you're doing in your business, and tell us how it's working for you, and reach out to her. And if there's a way that she can help you perfect it to increase those sales or show you how to do it, then reach out to her for it.
Yes, I would love to help you. Like, I'm here. You guys know that. I'm active in the group. You guys know how to reach me. Okay. And if you don't, ask Cynthia.
That's what's up.
She'll tell you how to get me.
Absolutely. Look, I will run you down. I will run Maribel down for you. I promise you. You need her in your life.
Oh, and I use the Gemini tool inside of Google Meets.
Oh my God, I love Gemini.
I love it. I love it.
I love Gemini.
Summary it gives me for all of my meetings is absolutely amazing. It gives me literally a transcript of what we discussed. It breaks down all of the main points that we hit, and it gives me follow-up tasks for all of us. So like for myself and the potential client. And it's just absolutely amazing. So yeah, again, and I say that because, again, find the tool that works for you, right? Cynthia loves her Read AI. I use the one in Gemini. So it's whatever works for you, right? AI is great like that. There are so many tools out there. So I don't want you to get overwhelmed by the tools, right? Because you can literally spend hours and hours and days and months looking at all the tools that are out there.
Right.
Find one that works for you and stick with it. Okay. That was something else that I told you guys in the past. You got to stick with the tool long enough to see if it actually functions.
Mm-hmm.
If you are just playing around with it and you're not really digging into the max capacity of what the tool can do for you, then you're not giving it, a fair shot, and it's not going to perform the way you want it to. Okay. Then you're going to get frustrated and you're going to be like, AI sucks. And I'm going to tell you, no, it doesn't. You're just not doing it right.
Okay. I love it. That's that heartbreaking truth that we need to hear. That's the tough love. It's like operator error.
That's it. Operator error all day.
Operator error all
day, right? And we don't want that. We want you to do well, right? We want you to succeed. Right. All right. So predictive analytics. Let's move on to that. All right. Equals predictable profits. Okay, so we've got all this information here, right? You've got historical data, probability models, continuous learning, optimal timing. These are all components that are going to help you increase your profits and predict or forecast future outcomes. Okay, in sales, this means predicting which deals are going to close, which customers are ready to buy, and even the best time to reach out. Okay, let me tell you something. The one thing I can't stand outside of those cold little pitch slaps that I get, from those people that randomly call me, are when they call me at like 5 o'clock in the morning or at like 8 o'clock at night when I'm getting ready to like dig into my computer. So using AI will help you figure out the perfect time, right, to call somebody. And usually that's when they're on social media.
Yep.
Okay. So it knows, it tracks. Like, don't be surprised by that. Social media tracks what you do. It tracks what pages you're visiting. It tracks the times that you're online. It tracks, how long you stay on certain things, because it wants to know what it can push your way. right? It wants to know
Mm-hmm.
what ads it can put in front of you. It wants to know, what opportunities it can showcase. Because guess what? They get a percent of the profit when things sell through their platform. So they want to be able to help you do that, right?
Yes.
It's slick, but it's sales. It is what it is. Okay. It is what it is. So just think about it though. Imagine knowing the perfect time when to call somebody or to message them, and with what kind of message, right? There's a couple tools out there that I've used in the past. I use others. Again, I give you examples. You decide what you feel best with or most comfortable with, right? Clary and Sixth Sense, they show you the probability of closing a deal. And it gives your sales reps or yourself an edge in timing and strategy. So these are kind of like those upper level tools. Okay. These are ones when you are closing thousands of dollars in sales, and I'm claiming that for all you guys. You're
Yes.
gonna be closing thousands of dollars in
Six-figure
sales.
earners.
Okay. That's right. Six-figure earners here. Okay. You're gonna want to invest in a tool that's gonna help you figure out the probability of closing. Okay. And you're going to want to invest in systems that can help you improve in your strategy with each iteration. Okay. That's just with each try or with each opportunity. You need to be able to have a system that is going to look at past behaviors of clients that you've had and predict future actions. Okay. You're going to need to have a system that calculates close likelihood, not something that's just like, you got a 2 out of 10 chance of, no.
No.
We need data, like good solid data that's going to predict a close likelihood. Okay, we
Right.
want like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Okay, and we need to know exactly when and how to reach out to these people. Okay, because you miss a lot of opportunities when you're just sending out random things at random times for random reasons, and you have no direction. Okay, you need direction in your outreach. Okay, and you need to be able to come across people multi-channel. Okay, so when you have, like, let's say you have an ad out there, right? And it's going to go out at a certain time. I don't know, 3 days a week, right? At the same time, okay, or within minutes of each other, you want to have an email campaign that goes out as well, and you want to have some social media presence that goes out. Maybe you want to get online and do a live that talks about your product or service, right around the same time. So number one, you're hitting people at multiple opportunities, right? Through different platforms. People are seeing you multiple times. Remember that number 9, okay? 9 touch points, okay? So if you're doing that 3 days a week, all you have to do is grab 3 of them a day. There's your 9. In a week, you've remained top of mind to a potential client, okay? So just think about that. Think about how you can kind of integrate that into your workflow, all right? By doing like this predictive analytics, I can't stress this enough. This is really, really going to help you guys. If you can determine, like I said, the best time and how to reach out to somebody, that's the conversation piece.
Oh yeah, that's T. That's T right there.
Yeah, seriously, right? And when you are able to get that conversation going, you can convert. Okay, but I'm gonna tell you right now, conversations will not lead to conversion if you are not 100% clear on your product or service, the benefit it brings to that particular person, okay? And you are passionate about what you do.
I hope y'all just got that coaching. She stopped training for a minute. She started coaching. I hope y'all caught that. Like I felt that. Like, absolutely.
I'm just saying.
It's because it runs deep though, right? That adaptability, that clarity, that knowing. And trust me, like we are getting ready to enter an economy that may not be particularly subservient to the small business owner and to the entrepreneur. And you can actually take this opportunity to level up in your business, just like we did before COVID hit us, right? It's a huge economic downturn before COVID, and businesses who were positioned to enter into times of crisis were the businesses that survived. And some of us not only survived, but we thrived during COVID. Like there were businesses that were thriving. If you get in on this AI curve now and knowing what's happening in our market, knowing that it's going to trickle down to all of us, you're going to have a way to keep pace. Like she said really early on, and that caught my attention, Maribel, when you said that, is that you can still be very skilled at this stuff and you can do it well. The issue is going to come in is that you're not going to be able to keep up with what's out there. So Prepare yourself now so you can keep up with how we're moving in society. Success truly does love speed. And it is all about business, like she's telling you. Like, you have to have a relationship, you have to know the customer, and you have to know them well to be able to close. But at the end of the day, you've got to be able to close. And this is going to move you to that a lot easier and a lot faster. So I asked the question in the comments on the live on Facebook. I'm like, are you keeping up today? Like, keep up with this conversation, and then take this conversation and go keep up with it in your business. You got to do it. You got to do it.
Yeah. And then another point that I want to make real quick here is, if you have teenagers, I need you guys to start teaching them how to do this stuff.
Oh,
China is now making it mandatory in schools that students learn AI.
Thank you. Why not?
Okay?
Why not?
So I need you guys to start teaching your kids. Okay. And I say this from a minority standpoint. We need to have the edge. So anything that I teach you, anything that go back, share the videos with your children. Like, I'm serious. Teenagers are going to soak this up. They already know how to use ChatGPT.
They're doing it.
So teach them how to level up using this. Teach them how to start a small business using this stuff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm teaching my son how to do this. So, go with it. Okay.
Please.
That's my mama heart talking to y'all.
I love it.
All right. So optimizing your sales pitch with AI. All right. So before AI, right, your sales pitch had real generic messaging, one size fits all approaches, static scripts, guesswork on impact. But guess what? After AI, you now have personalized content, persona-based targeting, dynamic adaptation, and performance tracking. Okay. It helps you refine your sales pitch in real time, right? Whether it's an email, call script, presentation, tools like ChatGPT, Lavender, analyze what works and what doesn't. Okay. They help you adjust your tone, highlight key points, simplify jargon. And the result here is a message that is tailored to your audience, not a one size fits all pitch. Okay. It makes it super easy to connect with prospects and move them down the funnel. All right. It also helps you deal with those objections, because every salesperson is going to hear them. But if you're a great salesperson, you're going to be ready for them. And AI helps by analyzing those conversations and identifying those common objections. Okay. So like when Cynthia was saying, she records those conversations she has with her potential clients, right? And she feeds them into ChatGPT. It can analyze these things for you and go, all right, well, these are some common objections that people say. And guess what? You can clarify or edit your pitch to kind of preemptively answer or counter those objections.
You gotta teach, girl. You gotta teach.
As you're talking through this, right, then you're going, okay, I just had meetings with 5 clients. They all had the same common objection. That must mean that I am not preemptively, countering that objection during my sales pitch. So let me go back and change my pitch to include that. That way, that objection no longer shows up. Right? Then you do the same thing again. You iterate, right? So as you move forward with whatever other clients, maybe there's another objection that comes, in front of you. And you go, okay, well, that must mean I'm not addressing that one. So let me go back, change a few things here, and let me make sure to address that. Right? Once you've done that several times, you've perfected your pitch. And then there's really nothing that they can counter at the end of it, right? Because you've already addressed it throughout your entire pitch. Okay. You've told them how your business or your product or your service, is really the perfect solution for them, right? And you've countered every possible objection, whether it is time, whether it is price point, whether it is, their ability to really use it, like user error, that kind of thing. And you've dealt with all of that, right? Maybe hearing their objections really opened up your eyes and said, oh, you know what? In my product or service, I don't have that. Maybe I need to just kind of tweak that a little bit and include that component. And it will open up the doors to a larger audience. Right? So all of these analytics, right? All of these things that you use to help you, it's really going to, number one, up your game. Okay? That's just at the forefront of everything. It's going to up your game. Number two, it can improve your product or service exponentially.
Period.
Okay? And number three, it is going to help you as a business owner truly understand the sales process from start to finish.
Oh, the practicality, y'all. I hope you caught it. Did you hear it? Preemptive marketing and preemptive pitches will increase your conversion rates.
All day. All day.
Know what they're going to ask you before they ask it.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And ChatGPT is great at that, by the way. Excellent
Tell,
at that.
yeah, tell Chat GPT. I just posted a reel in the group about this that I found on TikTok, and I shared it from this girl, and she was like, "If you want to get your feelings hurt, get ready to get in the corner and bawl. Just go ask Chat GPT after you've trained it for a while. Ask Chat GPT what your top 5 blind spots are."
Yes.
And oh my gosh, it will. You will, if you've trained your GPT well, it will definitely tell you here's what you're lacking. I can tell you some of, like, my 5 were doing too much myself and not delegating, undercharging or over delivering. That one hurt me. That one was like a dagger to the heart. I was like, oh my God, I thought I need to charge more or whatever. And then it told me I was not fully capitalizing on my results and my client success stories. And I needed to talk about that a lot more. It said I was juggling too many offers without a streamlined funnel.
Ooh.
I'm like, I'm a business coach. I'm hurt. What you mean? Like, what you mean I'm not streamlining? And then playing it safe with exposure. So these things work. Like, they'll work, and they'll tell you all about yourself, and they'll tell you all about your clients. Optimize your sales pitch with AI. Yes. Everything she's saying today, I'm going to endorse, and every trainer I'm going to endorse. So I hope y'all already knew, but if you don't, now you do.
All right. Okay. So let's look at a workflow example, right? This is AI in action, what it's going to look like for you guys. Okay. So think about a lead. Remember, we want some hot leads coming in, not some cold leads. So we're looking at our hot lead. They come into your CRM. Right? Customer information is captured and stored automatically from various touch points. Okay, you better have that set up. Number 1. Okay, if your CRM is not set up that way, go handle it today. Okay,
handle that. Handle that.
Handle that. Then AI scores it and routes it. Okay, so you have certain automations inside of your CRM, right, that help you evaluate lead quality and assign to the appropriate rep based on fit. When I say rep, it's going to depend whether or not you have a sales team, obviously, or you can just put it in a bucket, right? I call them buckets, you know. So you could say, all right, that particular person is a hot lead. I'm going to put it in the hot lead bucket, you know, and you can use tags with inside your CRM to label them so you know what is what, okay? Then from there, right, you use that AI optimized pitch. So again, your rep, whether it's you or somebody else, right, receives the personalized talking points tailored to the prospect's specific needs. Okay, so when you know about this prospect and you have the demographics and the psychographics, then you could use your sales pitch template that you create, plug that in to it, right? Throw it in ChatGPT and have it generate the perfect script for you. Okay. Then objection handling, right? It'll suggest effective responses based on successful past interactions. Okay. And again, throw that into ChatGPT, make it all one script, okay? Yes. Then you're going to close and convert. So from that point, you know, the deal is complete. They're super satisfied. You're super satisfied. And you move forward, right? Because after that, you know, after you sell someone and they purchase your product, then you have to think about how you're going to make them a repeat customer. Okay? Yes. Because one-time sales are not good. You don't want that. You want people to come back more and more and more and more.
Retention. We want customer retention. That's and a long extended customer lifetime value. Keep them for a long time. Keep them coming back.
That's right. Okay. So that's just a simple workflow, right? Part of these are definitely going to be systems that you set up ahead of time. Okay. And then things that you need to do on the back end. All right. So if you don't have your CRM set up, guys, you better get that going. Yeah. Because as a business owner, you really can't do much without it. Okay. Long gone are the times where we are handwriting things in notebooks about this is this client I contacted this time and I did this, you know, on this date, and this is the information that they gave me. No. We need to automate life.
Yeah. Okay. Please. You won't be able to keep up if you don't.
Automate. You're going to waste so much time if you don't have that set up properly. And a true CRM, and I'm not just talking about, you know, where customer information comes in and it stores data. That's not a CRM.
Right.
Okay. That's not a CRM. That's a database. Okay. I'm talking about something that has automations built in, that has workflows built in, that has the ability to create lead magnets, funnel pages. You know, I'm talking about an all-in-one system. You need to get yourself an all-in-one system. Okay. Yes, and if you don't have one, hit me up. I can give you some recommendations of several that I've used. One that I've used for years now that I absolutely love. Okay. I'm getting ready to show you the tech stack. Okay. I need you guys to capture this.
Lock in.
Take a picture.
Lock in. Okay. Take a screenshot. Y'all ready?
Take a screenshot of this. Okay. And then you guys can go ahead and test some of these things out. And again, find the things that work for you. What works for me may not work for you, okay? Because I am a more advanced AI user. So if you're just starting, you want to find things that are more simple, right? And streamlined, that don't require coding and things like that, okay? So here it is.
Trigger fingers ready. When y'all get the screenshot, I want y'all to comment on Facebook Live. Got it. Comment, got it.
Okay. So lead scoring, you've got some things like Salesforce, Einstein, right? HubSpot, Fresh Sales, Zohozia, Predictive Analytics, Clary, 6 Sense, Insight Squared, People.ai, Pitch Optimization, ChatGPT, Lavender, Regi.ai, Outreach, Objection Handling, Gong, Chorus, Avoma, Copilot. Okay. A lot of these you can use right out the gate. You don't have to be super tech savvy. Some of them can handle you no matter where you're at. They can handle you at your most basic foundation level. And then if you become more advanced, it's also very useful. Okay. So I encourage you, take some time, dig into these, see what works, see what resonates with you, what's giving you the results. But above everything else, stick with it. Please don't go tool hopping. Okay. If you don't
got a
stick with
question for
something
you,
long
Maribel,
enough,
from Facebook Live. Can you take a question?
Yes.
I got one from Facebook Live from Demonte Preach, and he asked, does any of the AI sales tools support scaling product growth for your business capacity?
There are tons out there that support that. So it just depends on what you need specifically. So I need some more detail on what you need. DM me.
Send her DM. She'll give you an answer.
I'll be more than happy to help you with that. But there's tons that do that. Okay. Like I said, no matter where you're at in business, whether you're freshly starting or you're growing, right, and you're at that point where you're ready to scale past the next level, then yeah. And so it just, a lot of these tools are built for that, right? They're built for your basic business owner all the way up to someone who is scaling, multi-figure earner, that kind of thing, because they want the retention of you too. They want that repeat client. They don't want someone that's going to go to the next tool because they're useless, right? And most AI tools are constantly evolving. They have to keep up with what's going on out there as well.
Yes. Okay.
So like the big guns, right? Like ChatGPT, Copilot, Grok, Perplexity, Claude, like those are the big guns. Manus is the newest one that's out. I gained access to that one, and it's a lot of fun.
I love it.
A lot of fun. Yes, it is. So anyways, they all keep up with everything, right? And they're trying to compete with each other. Okay, which is, it's obvious, right? They need to, or else their company is going to die. So, most cases they all can handle what you need, but I can give you some recommendations. Nice. All right. So
thank you.
You are so welcome. All right. So here's some best practices just to get started. All right. I need you to start small. Okay. I always tell you that every single time I talk to you guys.
Every time.
Okay. Identify 1 to 2 specific bottlenecks in your process, and then focus AI implementation there first. Okay. Maybe it's lead scoring or objections, but pick one and test it out. Okay. All right. You need to ensure quality data. Okay. Garbage in equals garbage out. Okay.
We don't do trashy. We don't do trashy. We do classy.
No, that's right. That's right.
Put good information in.
That's right. So, and that goes with anything, whether or not like you're training GPT, whether you're, trying to use a specific AI tool for sales, whether you're trying to use it for, anything, marketing, right? If you give it garbage data, it's not going to do you any good. Okay. So you have to clean that up, make it quality data before you start using the AI tools, right? And it has to be current. You can't feed it antiquated data. Okay, because that does not represent your current client, your current business atmosphere, right? Your current metrics and things like that. Okay, AI is only as good as the data that you give it. Okay, if you have a team, train them well. Okay, use real examples from your business, show tangible benefits and practical applications. Your team is your backbone if you have one. If it's just you, okay, learn how to leverage your time so that you can do this well. Okay, these tools are going to be your saving grace, because that way you're not spending so much time everywhere else. Okay, now when you're adopting an AI tool, think of it as a partner. Okay, not a threat. AI is not here to take you over. It is here to support you.
Yeah.
Then focus on augmentation. You got to use AI to enhance human skills. Okay. Salespeople remain relevant. I tell you that right now. You are still relevant.
Yes.
AI will never replace you.
Right.
Never replace you. Okay. To measure your success, you have to track KPIs like lead to close rate, how quickly reps respond, or how quickly you respond, or your chatbot responds, right? Overall sales cycle lengths, and your productivity. Okay. AI is going to help you move all these things in the right direction, but you got to watch those numbers and adjust as needed. Okay. Fine tune your strategy. Make sure you're getting your ROI. You have to make sure of that, because if not, it's going to flop. Okay. So some of the things that I want you to think about, okay, as you're moving forward. Okay.
Y'all listen close.
All right. AI transforms sales through smarter targeting, better prediction, and optimized messaging. Start small, measure your results, and scale what works. I have the link for this free guide, okay, that I created, but I'm not gonna post it until a little bit later in the group. All right. I want to give you guys some time to rewatch the presentation. All right. I want to give you some time to take the notes. I want to give you some time to ask questions if you have any. Okay. Just remember something. AI isn't here to replace you. It's about helping you do your job better and faster. Okay. Things like the lead scoring that we talked about, the predictive analytics, the pitch optimization, and objection handling are just 4 ways. And I mean, there's a whole lot more, but I don't have time for that today. But these are just 4 ways, right, that AI can improve your sales performance. And the best part, these tools are easily accessible and easy to implement, but they will do nothing for you if you don't try. So the sooner you start, the faster you're going to see results. And with that, my time with you is done.
Oh my goodness. I swear it does not feel like it's been an hour. It feels like it's been like 30 minutes. Like that was the fastest hour ever. Thank you, Maribel, for the amazing training today. And she does not know that I'm going to do this, but I'm getting ready to do it. So she said she's going to give y'all the free guide later on in the group. One of the things before I'm gonna do something that she doesn't know I'm gonna do yet, but what we would love to see you do is if you have any more questions, I don't see any more live, and it could be just because I missed it or Facebook is messing up or whatever. But if you have questions, what I want you to do is go to 6 Secrets, create a post asking your question, and tag Maribel in your post so she can see it and she can answer it. One of those reasons is because I guarantee you, if you have the question, somebody else does too. And there's a lot that we can all learn together. And that's what 6 Secrets is for, is building to that level. So if you do have an AI question after you watch this, go to the 6 Secrets group, post your question and tag Maribel in it so she can help get you to an answer. And we can do it openly so everybody can learn. Now, will she get too personal in there? No, she's going to do just like she did on this live and say, hey, I need more information. Let's hook up in DMs and see what else I can do to help you. And that's perfectly fine. That's what you want in order to grow. Now, the thing that I want her to do is this, and I'm getting ready to do it myself. We want to give you some low-hanging fruit. So some of our offerings that we have as experts and coaches are definitely higher value, higher price, but we want to be able to offer you low-hanging fruit that you can take to and use practically now to get yourself on the ground, to get your feet on the ground. Now, this is what I want you to think about when we're talking about this. So we're going to give you some low-level products or services that we offer that can help you with this stuff in the very beginning. Very low level, very low price, things you can afford or as an investment in yourself. But think about this. If you haven't started your business yet, you're in what we call the idea stages. And so you need things that are going to help you validate and vindicate your ideas. If you've made it and you've started and you're within the first year, it's what I call your just launch stage. You haven't quite reached year 2 yet, but you need more information and you need to learn how to grow. Now, once you reach years 2 and 3 in business, you're preparing yourself for growth. So a lot of those things that she talked about in today's presentation, and this sixth presentation in this series, a lot of this was bent on growth as using AI as your sales coach and giving you insights. If you're in stage 4 of your business, what I call scaling, you're probably at about 4 to 5 years, and you're trying to figure out how to take off and really mobilize the tools that she gave you today. So no matter where you are in each one of those phases, you can definitely go to her for resources. So Maribel, right now, what is some low-hanging fruit, a product or service that they can get from you and invest in that will help them on their journey?
Okay, so one thing that I can provide you guys is a organizational custom GPT. So that is basically a business coach in your back pocket. And it's special to your business. Okay. So no matter where you're at, whether you are at the foundational level, right, ideation stage, or you're at the scaling stage, you need to know how to get to the next point, right? And it has to be specific to your business, to your industry, to your target audience, so on and so forth. So I can build that for you. I can build out a custom GPT that'll be your support system. It'll be the coach that tells you, okay, let's lay out our business plan for the year. Let's do this for the year. Let's the next piece. Let's work on this quarter. Let's work on this next part this quarter. Right? These are the tools that you can use to move you to that next level. And this is how you go about doing that. Okay. So that's something that I can do. If you are missing a key person in your business, like let's say that you suck at marketing. Let's just be real, right? I can create a marketing GPT. Right? I can create one that can do your marketing for you. If you need a copywriter, right, for social media, I can create a copyright GPT for you, or a social media GPT for you. You need somebody that's going to help bounce ideas off of you or with you. Can create that person for you. So think about what you're missing in your business. I can create that. So,
well. I hope y'all got it, and I hope you take advantage of it. Reach out to her. And Maribel, what's your website?
It is graphicallyyours.com. Graphically is spelled GraphicallyYours.com.
Y'all got it. Graphicallyyours.com. Go get your GPT to help you make your business run smoother. If you need foundational principles, I would advise you to subscribe to my blog for $1 a month or just $10 a year, because one of the topics on there that she discussed today kind of made me think about what I just wrote for April and put tools inside of it for you that I've built myself, is spring cleaning your business for quarter two. Quarter two of the year is all about stability and moving forward to the next step of growth in the year and making sure you can get the sales that she taught about today. So if you subscribe to my blog, www.clsmgmt.com, digital products available for you for less than $8 as an investment. So a lot of opportunities for you guys to get on board and do the right things. Talk to Maribel, post your questions, tag her in them, and Maribel will see them next month, right?
Yes, we will.
See you guys next month. Thanks, girl.
Right. Bye.
Bye, y'all.